Welcome back. We have just gotten word that Air Force One is about to touch down. We're going to go live to News 5's Preston Ayers standing by at the Tri-Cities Airport. Preston?
Hey, we're coming back now to the Tri-Cities Airport with some breaking details right now where we have just seen an airliner making its way just off in the distance here. We're going to let you see it. And in fact, I'm going to step out of the way, completely bring in meteorologist Ricky Matthews, who's also a pilot. We are watching Air Force One just coming across the horizon right there. If you can see it coming into our viewfinder there, you'll see shooting across some of the media here as well. But we are watching Air Force One coming in. And Ricky, I know as a pilot, this is quite an amazing sight to see happening.
You know, politics aside, it's a beautiful aircraft and one that really commands its presence wherever it goes worldwide. It's a 747-200, which is a very large airliner. Technically, it's just a kind of modified airliner designed for military use. But this thing is basically a military aircraft now with all the different communications equipment and different types of security systems. It has things to protect itself against missiles. So much on this plane that makes it so different.
And I've waited to say this all day. It was my line. Touchdown in Tennessee. President Trump has arrived in the Tri-Cities. Going to continue to move out of the way here right now. What's going to happen here is the Air Force One. There you see the sound coming behind it.
That's the reverse thrusters.
As it is now going to travel to the end of the runway. And Ricky, at this point, it travels out of view here because it takes a while to slow this plane down.
Big planes take a while to stop. And it's using what you're hearing. If you can hear that in the background, that's actually the engines reverse thrusting. Same thing when you land on an airliner. They'll actually put the engines into reverse thrust and make it slow down using the reverse thrust of the engines, which is pretty cool. It's gone totally out of distance there.
It's completely out of our sight right now, but that's not going to stay that way for very long. It'll take it a little bit of time, though, to make its way back up the runway here as it turns around, but it is going to pull in right here behind us. If you can see, folks, I'm not sure exactly what we have in the sight, but if we can get you to span on around, you'll see some Secret Service already standing out here ready and waiting to greet the president when he does come in off of this. And Ricky, we got a few minutes of wait time here before it makes its way back up. What's kind of happening out there right now?
So right now they're just making sure everything's normal, making sure they had a good, safe landing. And then as they prepare to taxi the aircraft in, they'll prepare it for taxi and prepare for disembarking. There's about 3 levels on board this aircraft, actually. There's a lot of stuff they have to check. About 4,000 square feet all in all. They've got a medical suite on board. So let's say someone had a medical problem. There's actually almost a hospital on board this aircraft. So, you know, when you're flying over the ocean, you've got to be able to treat people no matter where you are in the world. So there's a medical suite on board, fully staffed kitchen, can serve about 100 people at a time.
Wow.
So you never go hungry on Air Force One. There's, of course, space for press, which travels with the president, space for guests. I believe one of our local congressman was
and we can talk a little bit about who will be on that plane when you see them start to come off the plane, which it will take a few minutes because there's a walkway that'll have to make its way over to the plane and do the basic things that you have to do for any aircraft as it parks. But when we see that, we'll see Congressman Phil Rowe is here. He is flying down with the president today. He was also scheduled to be at the Medal of Honor ceremony. He had said earlier that he would be attending that. And also Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, of course. A lot of this presence, of course, is because of her campaign. She is riding down on Air Force One. Once he gets on the ground here, we know Governor Bill Haslam was one of the last planes to land here. He will greet the president on the ground here, and then will join in the motorcade, which is going to make its way to Freedom Hall very quickly. So if you are traveling or planning to travel, roads are about to get pretty dicey around the Tri-Cities when that motorcade starts to roll. We're going to see that pull out here in front of us here in just a couple of minutes. We see some more security detail beginning to make their way here in front of the platform.
So Preston, it appears to me you can barely see the tail right there over the distance now. It looks to me like they've actually back taxied on the runway, or probably going to come back on the runway, probably pull off right through here, and then come in to probably greet that gentleman right there from the Secret Service, who's probably going to put the nose right up to front of the aircraft. And
it does take a few minutes also for them to be able to deplane, and the President Trump will not be one of the first to walk off. In fact, he is at the end of that, the deplaning. The National Press Corps will be one of the first that will come off there. That'll take some time to do that. Then we'll see the distinguished guests coming off as well. It takes a few minutes for this to happen, but we are watching it unfold as you see Air Force One about to pull in right here live at Tri-Cities Airport. We're going to continue to cover that and watch, and we'll be back with you as the President Trump comes off of Air Force One and right here in the Tri-Cities. Reporting live, Ricky Matthews, Preston Ayers. We'll send it back to you.